Welcome to the Shine Your Light Network with host and founder, Robin Nicole. I believe that each person holds a set of gifts inside of them that are unique and special. I also believe that it is every person's job, so to speak, to shine their gifts out to the world in whatever way, shape, and form that feels right to them. When we go out into the world and shine our light, the whole world shines along with you. Here on the Shine Your Light Network, you will find inspiring and uplifting conversations along with special video blogs from my heart to yours. Please take whatever resonates and let the rest fall away. Hello, you beautiful beings of light. Today is the 7th of December, 2021, and I'm coming to you to talk about 0 point and being in the eye of the storm. Well, an actual hurricane type storm is happening all around me. We're in a red warning in our area where I'm living, and the winds are really picking up, and it's just kind of funny that this topic has been ruminating around in my head for the last few days about coming on and talking about it. And yet I'm sitting here literally bringing this information forward during the storm, and I'm literally in the eye of the storm kind of thing. I'm in a really calm place, and trying to keep my perspective so that I can see everything that's happening all around me. So before I begin, I just want to tell about what I've been going through. And so on November 15th, I think, I realized I had COVID. And I was basically thrust into this. Like all of a sudden, it's like, boom, you're in COVID. And how I worked through it, and what I feel is the reason why I actually got it. And what it ended up doing for me was it ended up giving me time to work through this a wound, a very core wound that I had around disempowerment. And I have a totally different viewpoint around things now, and things are starting to work, and things are starting to come full circle. And I didn't know I had COVID at the time when I did a video, and I don't know if all of you actually saw it. It's not there anymore. I've taken it down. And I did a video. It was kind of like a poor me video. And when I look back, I realize that I was actually the sickest at the time when I did this video. And when I'm feeling sick, a lot of times I will go down the poor me avenue. My vibration goes down, and I get very clingy, and I start I get very teary-eyed. I cry a lot, and then I start going through this spiral of despair. And so I found myself creating a video talking about my disempowerment and all the feelings that I had around not being seen, not being heard, not being validated, not being wanted. It was really deep core wound that was coming through. And I remember I put the video up, and then I started getting messages from different people that I never even knew about. And then I started kind of they were all kind of saying they were sorry to hear that I felt this way, and that the work that I do really helps them. And they wanted me to keep doing it. And they look forward to seeing me on the videos and things like that. And about 2 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and I needed to go take a shower. And I was in the shower and I just kind of was like, this is not what I did the video for. I wasn't looking for people to feel sorry for me. And I felt like the response that I was getting was more of like I just felt like I need to take this video down because this video was basically the energy in it was not good, and I decided I better take this down before more people see it. And it was actually viewed by at this stage, it was viewed by 40 people. I was getting all kinds of comments. It was engaging. Everybody was really liking it and stuff. But I was just kind of like, I need to take this down. I don't want people feeling sorry for me. And so I went in at 2 o'clock in the morning into my computer. I went to my YouTube channel and I just took the video, and I didn't take it all the way down yet, but I put it under as in unlisted. But I had shared it to my Facebook page before that. And so when you share an unlisted video, it will play wherever it is that you shared it. So I thought I took it totally down. And then about 10 o'clock in the morning, I was sitting here at my desk and the phone rings, and it was Nora Creed. And she was like, I was just listening to you. I was just listening to you. And I heard your story. I said, oh my God, how did you hear that? I took that down. She goes, must be I was meant to hear it. And so for over a year and a half now, Nora has been helping me. And she has been trying to get me to actually have a transference healing session. And I kept putting it off and kept saying, I'll work through it myself. I work through it. And I've been doing it the hard way, the long way around. And I kept saying, oh, I'll work through it. And, but I had a friend, my dear friend, Tonia, who lives here in the town, and she had gifted me a session to have for Nora for my birthday, which was back in May. And I hadn't availed of my birthday present. And Nora was like, I think it's time. I think it's time that you have a session, because you're not going to shift this on your own. It's time. You need to shift. If you want to shift this and you want to really get through this, it's time. And so I said, okay, it's time for me to have a session. And so I said, go ahead with it, Nora. And we made a date, and it was going to be, I think that was on a Monday. That was it was on the day that at that morning, and I didn't even know I had COVID at that stage. And I was like, yeah, we'll do it on Thursday. And everything was ready to go. And that afternoon, I was eating my dinner, and I realized that I couldn't taste anything. And I was like, so this is this. I said to my husband, I said, did you put the flavoring in the tacos? And he was like, yes, I always do. And I'm like, can you taste this? And he's like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like, I can't taste it. It tastes like cardboard. What is going on? And come to think about it, last night, my dinner didn't taste like anything either. And I was like, he was like, can you smell anything? And I'm like, I don't know. And so I think I can, but maybe I can't. So then I went, and we had this really stinky laundry detergent. I mean, this laundry detergent was so stinky that when I brought that in the house the day that I got groceries and put it into the house, it smelled so bad. It wasn't even opened yet. And it smelled so bad that it permeated throughout the whole house, and none of us could stand it. It was smelled so bad. So I ended up putting I put it into a plastic container and sealed it And that seemed to be okay. And then the rest of the box, I actually took out to underneath the stairs outside. And I put it underneath like a little storage area. And so I said, okay, I'll go out and I'll see if I can smell this laundry soap. And so I bring the laundry soap out to the room and I'm like, can you guys smell this? And they're like, it's freaking so stinky. They could smell it from like a mile away. I'm like, I can't smell the laundry soap. And so off to get an antigen test and figure out if I had COVID, and I had COVID. And so that all happened. And that night I was, when we found out we had COVID, I was basically thrust into my son's bedroom because none of them had COVID and they didn't want my COVID. And so I was kind of like put into this isolation and until I wasn't contagious anymore. And so my husband just kind of like pushed me into the room, not in a mean way, like he was just like, get in there. And I was like, well, I don't even have my pillow. And then I started going through all this, like, I need to set myself up in here. And if I'm going to be stuck in here for 10 days, you know, and then he says, you have an hour to get everything you need. And then, I'm going to come through and disinfect the house. And, that's what he says to me. So then I'm in the room and I'm feeling very disempowered. I'm like, who's going to do the laundry? Who is going to like take care of everybody? Like, I'm always the one doing the laundry. I do all the cleaning. I do all the washing up the dishes and all the stuff. Like, who's going to do all that for them? And I'm being told, let the boys take care of themselves. Sit back and watch some Netflix. And, so that was very hard for me. And so I had set myself up to have this session with Nora. And it was at the exactly perfect timing. Didn't even realize it, that this was what I was actually really needing, to make a long story short. And then when I notified David Starr and Bonnie about me having COVID, they immediately put together like a healing for me. And so the night before I had my Transference healing session, my David and my Bonnie, they sent me they got together and they created a healing for me. And the first thing that came through was they had to raise my vibration because my vibration had gone down into a level where I wasn't able to like heal myself basically. And so they raised my vibration, and then there was a lot of talk about the waters and my water and water to drink and everything. And David and Bonnie, they brought through, I think with the help of Merlin and alchemy, they brought through some codes and things for the water and for the water in my body. And then all my cells were starting to change over and start to heal and get through this. And then right at the end, David said, I feel that energies of the transference healing thing that Robin's always talking about. And it was really funny because he didn't know that I was having a session with Nora. And so already the energies were working with the transference healing session that I was getting in the next day, that next morning. And so all of the elements were coming through, and that's what kind of like what happened. So that's where I started to be at. And so I was looking back when I was editing the video, and I decided that I needed to add some more information before I went on with the next part. And so I really wanted to talk about the feeling that I had, and then like before they did the healing, and I was thinking of like I was in this isolation room and I wasn't allowed to go out, and I was feeling very disempowered, and I was just feeling like there was this vibration going on between whenever I needed to leave to go to the bathroom or go out to the kitchen to get something to eat or whatever, I was feeling like this vibration of I'm contagious, I'm going to spread this, and I had to run around with like this disinfectant and all this kind of stuff so that my family wouldn't get it. And I was like feeling like that, and so there was this like, my vibration was so low that like when David and Bonnie did the healing, they helped me, because like by the end of the healing, I made a decision that I was no longer in an isolation room. And so I flipped it and I changed, and I was like, I'm in a healing chamber. So I started thinking of my son's room as the healing chamber. And it was really cool because it was like there was a full moon coming out at the time that this all happened. And at the side of the house where my son's room is, the moon was like right shining in through the window. I was able to sit by the window and take in the energies of the full moon. And it was just absolutely amazing. And so instead of looking at this whole thing as like I'm isolated, I'm stuck here for 10 days, I started being like, this is my healing chamber. And so I created a healing chamber inside of there. So I just wanted to add that before we went more forward in the video. And so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the transference healing and what it is, and so that you can know about that and tell a little bit about my session and what happened with that. And then afterwards, I would like to talk a little bit about what has been going through my mind throughout this time where I've been healing, this time when I've been just allowing things, like when I've just been working through this core wound, what's been going around in my head, and what is happening, because it all has to do with mind alchemy, really, in the long run. And keeping yourself clean and clear. And then I also have a channeling that I did. So I'll be adding that to the end of this video. So before I get started talking about the transference healing session that I had with Nora, I really would like to just tell you a little bit about what transference healing is. And so I decided to get out my book. It's called Beyond Doorways, and the book is by a lady named Alexis Cartwright, and she's written a few books now, and one of them is called Transference Healing. She's developed a modality called Transference Healing, and I just wanted to kind of like explain what this is and what Nora is doing so that you can understand what kind of session I had with Nora. So it says how transference healing creates and maintains wellness. And so I'm just going to read what's in the book so that you can actually understand it a little bit. So it says, receiving regular transference healing sessions allows us to achieve and sustain a constant level of health and wellness while our body and planet undergoes radical change and transference. As we make consistent shifts into higher levels of consciousness, deep emotional and karmic wounds begin to heal, freeing us from restrictive and archaic patterning that limits our evaluation and growth. These healing sessions consistently purify genetic weaknesses from the body, preventatively caring against disease and light body symptoms. Transference healing sessions enable us to understand the complexity of our divine and inner nature. They enable us to see the causes of circumstances as well as their outcomes. They also allow us to see the source of physical ailments, providing an opportunity to clear internal weakness, physically heal, and make a complete shift into consciousness. When we experience the energetic impact of a transference shift, through a healing session, we begin to see the wonder of our life force and existence and feel how it impacts the universe. Through this, we become more enlightened in body and in consciousness. And so, how transference healing works. Transference healing does not diagnose a condition by analyzing the symptoms of the disease. It looks deep within the etheric patterning of the body and reads it with psychic perception. Transference healing incorporates many procedures, templates, and essences that filter new codes, frequencies, and elements into the etheric body. It also works with the electromagnetic and magnetic fields of the body. All disease manifests from weakness in the etheric and or electromagnetic fields, which over time impacts the physical. When we work with the etheric body and these magnetic frequencies and fields, we unrestrict by time and space, reach deep into different levels of vibrational density. This orchestrates healing on the cellular level of the body, so all dimensions of the anatomy can heal themselves. When combined with the guidance and insight that we receive during a transference healing, a powerful healing impact occurs. The source of trauma and pain can be removed from the etheric and the electromagnetic levels of the body without physical intervention. The physical body responds quickly and with ease, preventatively caring against illness. When we self-heal through enlightened intent, we are working on the energetic and alchemical body, makeup of the body. We are also working with emotional and mental consciousness, because the mind and the body are intricately connected on a cellular level. The interdimensional healing method of transference healing initiates healing, transformation, and changes in the mind and emotions, as well as the body. With each healing, we undergo a shift in consciousness. And then it talks about the different tools that are used for transference healing. And so this is all combined into a session. And I think you just get whatever it is that you need on the day. So color and sound waves, crystal and vibrational light kit essences, the elements, earth, air, fire, water, and ether, alchemy symbols and planetary energies, templates, masters, and rays, electromagnetic and magnetic frequencies, shamanic healing, crystal frequencies, platonic solids, skulls, and wands, stellar, cosmic, and interdimensional frequencies, greeting procedures, Lemurian and Atlantean technologies, alchemy, light body, and Merkaba technology, and also mystery school teachings. And so after one receives a transference healing, they will usually undergo an integration process. During this time, we can experience a radical internal and alchemical healing that can be so profound it can almost feel magical. Symbolically, it is like being taken into the womb of the earth, where we are internally nourished and supported to grow. During this 3-week period, we may become altered, feel mild symptomatic pain, releasing as we purify. That is very interesting to me, because when I had my session, all of a sudden, like last week, I experienced huge pain in my arm, where I had a really bad break like 6 years ago, and the pain felt so bad that I actually thought my arm was broken again. Undergo a subtle identity shift. That's happening to me as well. Or have long-standing issues resolve themselves. And a lot of things have started to resolve themselves, of things that have been issues happening in my life, in my family's life. Things have started to kind of like, things come to a head, and all of a sudden everything is resolved. And like, for instance, my my son, he needed some extra help in school and he wasn't getting it. And finally, I just was like, I'm writing a letter to the teacher and we're going to get this sorted. And by the end of the day, everything was sorted. And it had been waiting for like 2 years to get this sorted. We can also feel spiritual intervention in our lives, giving us the faith to let go of negative patterning, defense mechanisms, and the need for control and to surrender. When this integration is complete, we feel refreshed, reborn, and rejuvenated as we embody new aspects of ourselves, passion, and potential surfaces. And I'm starting to feel like I am having passion to do things again. So I wanted to explain like what was been happening to me, because this is all like in the period of the time when I'm having this session with Nora, and how my life has changed due to it, and how my perspectives have changed as well. And so when I had the session with Nora, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what it was going to be like. And so basically she just told me, she was doing a distance session for me that day. And she just told me that she was going to start my session at around 9 o'clock in the morning. And I was to maybe just lay down and rest, or I could go about my business whichever way I wanted to do. And that she would call me afterwards and she would tell me about what went on and about my session. So she would basically tell what happened. And so I tried laying down, and I think I ended up getting a phone call right at the end, right before she was supposed to be done with my session. And I ended up I got a telephone call from the school. That's what it was. I had gotten a telephone call from the school. And so then when I got up and I had to run into the shower, I was like feeling like really itchy all over. I couldn't take the itching. It was like, it was crazy. And so I ran into the shower to kind of like get rid of the itch. And before I was done with my shower, Nora starts calling me. So I ended up, calling her back. And she went through the session with me, which was very different. So when she starts a session out, she uses the Transference healing deck of cards, which I have here. It's called Animal Magic Transference Healing. She uses all the tools. She's a practitioner of this modality, and she has all the tools that there is there. And so let me see if I can get the cards out that she chose. I'm going to push pause. Okay, so she went through the first cards, and just I want you to let you know that before when I made the session with her, she didn't know she knew I had COVID. She just found out I had COVID after we had already made the appointment for doing this. And then she forgotten about it. Like, she just totally, forgot the fact that I had COVID, that I was in isolation. And she starts going through the cards. And so we have the fox. That was the first card that came up, was the fox. And she kept saying it's, that I was feeling, she felt that I needed to detach. And I was feeling restrained and burdened by the needs of others. And it was actually kind of strange because at that time I was feeling that way. I had felt like I was shoved into a room, of a isolation room, and it was just what's going to happen to me? My husband's get into the room and don't come out of there until you don't have COVID anymore, basically, so that nobody else in the house could get it. And I couldn't, the feeling of disempowerment was so strong that day when I was shoved into that room, because I was like, oh my God, I don't even have a pillow in here. And I have to get the place set up, And then I was like, who's going to do the laundry? Who's going to take care of everybody? Who's going to cook the food? Who's going to clean up after everybody? Like, who's going to take care of everybody? And I had all these, I had to let go. I had to detach, and I had to allow them to take care of themselves. And for me to just be in the room. And that was really hard for me. And she was explaining how COVID allowed me to detach from everything because I literally had no choice. I had no choice. I was stuck into this room, and I had to get through it. And that she explained to me that I had to feel the disempowerment to finally come into full power. And so this was like the last straw, because a lot of things were happening. When I did the video about my, it's like my poor me video, I call it. In the video, I actually was explaining everything that I was feeling, how I wasn't feeling like I was enough, how I wasn't feeling like I was being seen, how I was totally and completely feeling disempowered with everything. And she then had the Eagle card, and she was going through the Eagle card. Put my glasses back on. And the Eagle card is all about seeing things from a higher perspective. And for me personally, it was to realize I have control of this. I can change things by my thoughts around it. And I need to flip it. To me, I understood this very clearly because I've been working with the Hermetic teachings, and part of this is mind alchemy. And so I knew that in order to get through this, I needed to flip my perspective. And instead of being like, poor me, I have COVID, poor me, I have to sit into an isolation room, poor me this, I had to flip it and turn my isolation room into a healing chamber instead of this poor me, I'm in here and I can't get out and I can't do anything. And so that was what the second card was about. And then we have Dragonfly. And so here's the Dragonfly card. And Dragonfly is all about clarity. And by sitting in isolation, I could finally begin to get clear. To just be. To not have to do anything, not have to create a video, not have to write anything, not have to do anything. And to get my head around things and work through my core wounds of self-worth and rejection. So that happened. So she went through the cards and she started speaking about those. And then that was before she talked about the healing that she had done. And so then she went on and she started talking about malachite. And I'll explain what she said about the malachite. But before I do, I just want to go back and talk about, when I went to go look up what she said about the malachite, she reminded me that all of this, everything that's happened to me is, and this time of clarity, this time of being by myself, it was for me to embody my power, to become clear about what it is that I am doing. And so it was all about embodying my power, becoming clear. And so that's kind of what that was all about. And she said I needed to feel the disempowerment before I could come into my power. So this is like all about kind of like what my whole session was about. It was about feeling the disempowerment, which is a very old core wound. And so then she started talking about malachite. And I needed to detach so that I could get to a point where I wasn't able to control anything. Everything was out of my control. And so she explained that she was going to be sending me an essence. And in the essence, which I got here in a bottle, in the essence, she put different things inside of it. And I was supposed to be taking 7 drops underneath the tongue in the morning and in the evening, right? And I don't know what it's supposed to do for me, but I think it's supposed to help with all of this that I just went through. And one of the things that she put into it was malachite crystal cross, which is some kind of an essence, and she felt that I really needed it to help stand in my power. It was very important for me to have this. And so inside this essence is amethyst, malachite crystal cross, fid, sulf, gold, Neptune, fine yellow, I can't even say the name, Hesachedon, says take 7 drops under the tongue morning and night, or place beside the bed. And so I'm supposed to do this until it's like totally gone. And like all of the essences are inside this dropper. And this is part of the transference healing. I guess it's helped to embody the healing. I don't know what it really is supposed to do for you, but I keep doing this. I keep taking it regularly every day, and it's almost gone. But I just wanted to show you that that came with it. And she saw a doorway. There was a doorway open during my session, and the doorway was open to a time in Lemuria where I where this disempowerment started, where this wound that I have around self-worth and rejection had started. And she saw myself as a high priestess in Lemuria, which wasn't like, I know I was, that's Alana, that's my aspect named that I call Alana. And she saw that I had a lot of power and a lot of alchemy, and I was holding the divine feminine. And the only thing that she could see, though, was that back in the times in Lemuria, it was very unbalanced energy. And there were a lot of men around me that they basically couldn't take my power. They couldn't, they just didn't want me there. They ended up, they put me down. They decided to sacrifice me, and they made me feel like it was a great thing that I was being sacrificed, and that I was being sacrificed because it was back in those times. It was an honor to be sacrificed, and they made me feel that I was this was something that was special. And so when they were doing this to me, they just wanted to take me out. And she said that she felt that she could see these men. They were just laughing because they're like, she thinks she's being sacrificed. But actually, we just wanted to get rid of her. And this energy turned into a very deep wound for my soul essence. And I came back into many, many more lifetimes feeling very disempowered. And she actually told me to look at even the times in this lifetime when I was at work and how I felt disempowered by others, especially men. And she's right, totally and completely feel disempowered. And it is part of what I'd be talking about today, that's been going through my mind about what's going on in our world at the moment, and how we are so mind controlled that we've lost our power. And so that's what she saw in my session. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else that she saw or did? it basically was all around that. It was all about disempowerment. And so when you have a session like this, and then plus on top of it, like David and Bonnie did another thing to prepare me, to get me ready for this session. When you have this happening to you, then there's a time, like I was reading in the book earlier, there is a time of that you, like, it takes about around 3 weeks or so that you embody all this information, and you work through it. And so I guess that's what I've been doing. I've been really thinking a lot, and trying to figure out how to be the beacon of light, how to keep myself balanced and everything. And the message that I have been given my whole life keeps coming up. Keep yourself clean and clear, and keep yourself alchemized, and become that pillar of light, hold the light, and hold yourself in the eye of the storm while all the chaos is going on around you. And it's just the message that just keeps coming in over and over and over again. And so I'm going to be sharing with you a channeling I did on the Hearts of Change over for the solar. It was the solar eclipse and the new moon on Saturday, and I just kind of like recorded it off, my part of it off from the show that aired on Facebook. And so the sound isn't all that great, but it's the best that I could do. And so I just wanted to share this channeling that came through around the having to be around the still point, around being in the eye of the storm, around keeping your pillar of light. And because it seems to be a consistent channeling that keeps coming through all the time. And so that's why I'm here, and that's why I feel so, my heart is so like full of, it's like so sparked to go out there and make the world a better place. And so my message never changes. It always usually stays pretty much the same. And sometimes I kind of think to myself, why bother anymore? Because like it's the same message every single time. And I have all these videos on it, and I'm not even sure, I guess like different people will hear it at different times. And so I got to keep saying the message over and over and over again. So let's get down to it. I'm going to tell you about what's been going on since all of this has happened, and what's been going on in my head, and what's been going on in the area where I live, and how I have been working through this information. So first of all, I wanted to talk about, I ended up at the end of all of this working with the Hermetic teachings, and I started working through the Kabbalion, which is an audio book that I got off from YouTube, and it's all about the Emerald Tablets, and all about like the different types of there's all this information about the Hermetic teachings. And so I've been listening to it and realizing a lot, and trying to change my perspective about things. And so this is what I've learned. Okay, so I came to like conclusions. There was parts of me, even up until like the last couple of days, it's kind of like, why am I even bothering doing any of this? Because what does it all matter? None of it matters. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't feel like doing any of it. Like, I don't feel like I feel like we're in some kind of like experiment or something, which we probably are. And so I feel like I'm rambling. I don't mean to be rambling. It's just my thoughts have been like going around this whole thing. And then I remember all this information coming in that I learned about by a doctor named Bruce Lipton, and he talked about how we come into this world and we have no perceptions, we have no like viewpoints or anything. We come in clear, and then within the first 7 years of your life, you are your mind is kind of not really mind controlled. I guess you are mind controlled, but it's like your whole I'm trying to come up with the word. Your whole thought patterns and the way that you think about things and the whole everything, by the time you're like 7 years old, everything is set in stone. Like basically your patterns are there, your perspectives are there, your ways of dealing with things are there, and your patterning is put in place. And it's like all has to do with like your parents and how your teachers and how you like you just learn it. You learn all these things and how to be in this world, how to live in this society. And we have been patterned at a very young age to abide by the rules, basically. To abide by the rules and to be a good person. And we know like if we don't abide by the rules, then there's consequences, and we all just want to be good citizens, at the end of the day. And what has been happening since 2020 and everything that's been going on, it's like we don't even know what to do anymore. We don't even know what's the right thing to do. We've got so many things going on in our head, like so many things coming at us, and there's so much like distortion in all of it, and we don't even know what to do anymore. Like I'm living in a country where we have been restricted so much that like even like for instance like we have been ever since it all started, we got put into lockdown, and then we basically had a series of like some of the things got lifted and some of the restrictions didn't, and all the way through. And it's not been like other parts of the world. Like I have a friend that lives in the United States, and she had like about 3 weeks of lockdown, and then everything's been normal. Like there hasn't been there's no restrictions. They had to wear a mask around for a while, and now they don't even have to do that. And everything just kind of like normal. They go to work, and everything is like their life has been normal. Very like hardly anything has happened to them, or their lives have not been like disrupted too much by this. But I'm living in a country where we don't have the healthcare systems to we don't have the healthcare system, we don't have the facilities to take care of people in a mass, like if there was a mass pandemic kind of thing. We don't even have it even before that happened. And so like even before, if you went to the hospital, you could be potentially be stuck on a trolley in a hallway in the emergency room for 2 to 3 days sometimes before you would even get a bed, because they never have the space. They never have enough doctors or never have enough nurses, and they're always understaffed. And so we come into this time, and they be putting the restrictions on us so that the hospital systems basically are not overwhelmed And so that if you need medical care, that you can get it, basically. And so they've been playing on our minds, like playing on our minds so much by, there's so many different rules, and it's almost getting to the point where you feel like, what is the point anymore? What's the point in abiding by these rules? Because every day they change, and every day it's like, I have this word, and it's a new word. It's called a mind fuck. They are mind fucking us. Like every day we are trying to be good citizens. We're trying to do what is right. We're trying to get through our lives. And every day something new is put on top of us. I mean, like we had not been able to run our business because we do birthday parties and classes with children, and they're in a group setting. And so with this whole social distancing thing, we have not been able to run our business all this time. And so that means we haven't had any income coming in, right? So we've been kind of like just strapped, just kind of like stuck in this thing. And they told us that on October 23rd, everything was going to be lifted, and that we were going to go back to normal, and that no matter what happened, we would just have to work through this and just get on to like normal life, and just, this is just the way it's going to be from now on. And we were allowed to start doing birthday parties and running our business. And so I think we had like four parties so far. Maybe 4 or 5 parties. And we were just getting to the point where we felt like, you know what, we can finally start like building back up our nest egg, because we had used every single bit of money that we had to get through this last year and a half. And there was nothing left. And we were like, okay, so let's just build this back up again. And so we didn't even get time to do that. Like, we didn't even get time to do that. And over the weekend, they decided to close everything back down again. So like, we're screwed. We're not allowed to make any more money again. And so now we're just going to be basically sitting here every day, waiting for the day when we can actually open our business again. What do you do when it gets to that stage? What do you do? Do you sneakily run your business? Like, because you feel like you're doing something wrong. You feel like you're doing something wrong. It's like when you're being told, your whole mind is like told, you're always meant to be like a good citizen. You're always like trying to do what's right. But how are you supposed to like keep doing what's right when they change the rules so much that you don't even know what the heck is happening? Like, you don't even know like what you're supposed to be doing anymore. And so the message keeps coming through that we need to keep holding the pillar of light. We need to bring ourselves into the middle, into the eye of the storm, into the still point. And we need to hold our perspective while all the chaos is going on around us. And this has been the message that has been going through for the last year and a half. Hold the light. 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 What are you supposed to do? Like, what are you supposed to do? So this is like what's been going through my head. Going like, why even bother even getting up in the morning to like even put your clothes on? Like, I actually just put clothes on today to do the video. But I really would have been happy just staying in my pajamas, because why bother? Why bother when you're really, what is there to get up for? What are you meant to be doing? What are you meant to be creating? when every time you start doing something, you get shut back down again. It's very frustrating. And there's a part of you that like can't fight anymore. Like there's people out there that say, don't let them do that to you. Well, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do when you're being told not to do this and not to do that? What are you supposed to do? So the only thing you can do is turn off the news, turn off the radio, and just be oblivious to what's happening, and just live your life inside your own little bubble. That's all we can do to get through. That's all I can do. That's all I can do to get through this, is to just stay in this bubble and do what I can do to move forward. And so I did start to, I have to figure out a new way to become and stand in my power and all this. And so I woke up last week and I was guided to create a masterclass, and that's going to be happening because I have to find new ways to create an income now, because the way that I was doing it isn't working anymore. I can't, you can't run a business when one day you're allowed to have it, and then the next day you're not, and then the next day you're allowed, and then the next day you're not. How are you supposed to ever get anywhere? So I have to find a new way. So I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is that I'm excited. I'm going to create this new masterclass, and I'm going to put my energy into all the magical things that are happening inside my room. And I'm just going to stay in the still point, stay in the eye of the storm. And I'm literally in the eye of the storm today. I'm literally sitting in the middle of this storm, and that's all I can do. That's all any of us can do. And so I guess the message for today is, the message is to try to not allow all the chaos and all the distractions and all the distortions bring you down. So that is the message. That is the message, and I don't need to ramble on any more about it. I am going to attach on the video, or it's not really video, it's an audio of a channel message that I did on the Hearts of Change Collective on Saturday night, and it just pulls it all together. And so I'm just going to include that here in the end, and I'm just going to leave it there. I'm just going to leave it there, and this is where we're at. And we have a choice here. We have a choice. We can allow ourselves to be distracted and go into the distortion, or we can spend some time in the still point, in the eye of the storm, and allow all the chaos to go on around you and just hold the pillar of light. And so that's what I'm choosing to do. That's what I'm trying to do. And trying to keep positive and trying to find reasons why I'm to get up and actually get dressed and do something for the day. So today is creating the video for you guys. So I'm sending you off with this channeled message, and I hope that it helps, and I hope that all the ramblings on that I've did today make some sort of sense, because it's not making any sense to me right now. All this stuff has been going in my head. I've been trying to put it together, and I think there was one more thing I wanted to say about the Bruce Lipton thing and what he was talking about with the how to fix that. So and it also has something to do with the Hermetic teaching. So how to fix that is to begin reprogramming your subconscious mind to get all of that other programming out. And so do what you need to do to do that. Like, you might need to start putting on at nighttime I am affirmations, positive affirmations, just that go on and on all through your subconscious while you're sleeping. Maybe put those things on when you're first thing in the morning to kind of like shift your perspective. And then after a while, you will change the patterning inside your mind, and that is mind alchemy. And so do what you need to do. Turn off the news. Turn off the radio. And just try to find ways to delve into your own little bubble. That's all we can do during this time. And we just try our best to keep ourselves clean and clear and alchemized. Sending you all very much love and light.
As I sit here, I am being reminded to remind all of you that as we sit here and we connect to our other aspects, to our galactic selves, to the Ascended Masters, they want to remind us today that we are all one, and that no aspect is any more special than the other, that we all actually come from the same place. And they want us to not romanticize about the connections that we have with our galactic and ascended aspects. And they tell us, bring forward calmness, bring forward peace. Ayati, ayakaya, iya, analu. Ayati, ayakaya, iya, ayalu. We are one in the circle. We are one holding hands. We are one in the circle, and we all matter. Ayati, ayakaya, ayati, ayanu, ayati, ayataya, kia, analu. They're asking us to use the energies of the new moon, of the solar eclipse, and use the energies to harness in an energy to help you clear anything that no longer serves you. Allow the distractions, allow the distortions to fade away. Lakayanaya nakuya natiti tiana. Anaka nakayanaya yanaha kanu. Yanakai. Try to keep yourself clean and clear. Kayanaya nakuna pina kana kayanaya. Keep yourself clear. Ooh, yanakaya nakanu. Yanakia naya kuyino no nakaya naya. Bring yourself to the still point as much as possible. Keep the balance. Keep yourself alchemized, just as you would keep a swimming pool alchemized to the right levels. Do what you need to do. Put in your body what you need to do. Exercise clean, clear exercise. Eat the right foods. Find the right supplements. Keep yourself balanced, alchemized. And remember, you are always in the right place at the right time. You can never, ever, ever miss an opportunity. I am not high enough. I am not key enough. I am not high enough. We are all one, and we bless each and every single one of you, right down from the tiniest piece of sand, the tiniest blade of grass, all the way down to every single cell that is inside of your body. Love yourself. Keep yourself clean and clear. And trust that all will come in its own divine timing. We send you much love, dear ones. This is not an easy time. There is never an easy time to be on this earth. Hold yourselves together. Keep yourselves clean and clear. And connect yourself to the pillar of light that you are. And hold that pillar while everything else around you is in chaos. While you're in the middle of the eye of the storm, when you're in the still point, you have perspective of all that is happening around you. Do not allow the distortions and the distractions to take you off track. Remember who you are. I am complete.
My name is Robin Nicole, otherwise known as the Shine Your Light Lady. I offer one-on-one private sessions where I take you to your healing chamber, channel a special message from your spirit guides, and crystal gaze for you. I offer you all of my sessions by a donation-based energy exchange and give them freely without expectation or limitations. If you would like to book a session with me, please let me know privately through one of the contact links located here in the description of this video, and we can discuss a time convenient for both of us.